Hello, everybody. It's Friday early afternoon on May 22nd. I thought now would be a great time to send out a course update, a little short video to let you know where we're at in terms of course participation, and remind you of some of the things that we need to make sure that we're working on moving forward over the next week or so. Um, so right now we have two modules open. Module 0 is an introduction module, and it includes some how-to videos, a syllabus, and then an opportunity to introduce yourself to the class. And we've got great participation on that module so far. Over 75% of the class has already posted an introduction response. And I've taken the time to respond to every single one of them. And so if you've already posted and you haven't made your way back to that discussion board, I strongly encourage you going back there, seeing your peers' posts, getting to know who your classmates are, what experiences and insights they're probably going to be bringing to the course, and taking a look at any people that have responded to your introduction posts. I really have enjoyed reading and feeling like I'm getting to know a little bit more about everyone. It's really hard to lead these online classes when you don't really understand the expectations or the needs or the backgrounds of the people that are in the class. And so this, I think, is going to be incredibly instrumental for me moving forward, but also I think the class tends to operate better when we create this sort of collaborative environment where we are sharing our insights and experiences and learning from one another. And so it's been really great to see a lot of momentum that's built up so far, and I hope this continues forward with the upcoming modules. When it comes to Module 1, over 60% of the class has at least started Module 1, and about 40% of the class is already done with Module 1 here 2 days ahead of schedule. So that's great news. I'm already starting to see differences between the two sections that are running. Again, I started out with 50 people in this class, sort of divided them into two groups of 25 just to kind of keep those discussions a little bit smaller and more intimate. One section is way ahead of the curve, over 90% participation on Module 0, and over 65% completely done with Module 1. The other section's lagging behind a little bit, but again, we still have time before the deadline, so I'm not too concerned about that. But I do think these early posts are instrumental in terms of setting the overall climate of the class. And so I encourage you all to take the time in these early posts and do a great job on these and get into the habit of reading some of your colleagues' posts and collaborating and communicating with them in as close to we can get as a real-time discussion as possible. One of the exciting things about reading the discussion board post so far is just the absolute amount of variety of experiences and perspectives when it comes to career tracks and when it comes to leadership experience. So here you can see I just grabbed leadership experiences from each of the students, and you can see a ton of variance here, which is a great opportunity for us to really learn from each other. I thought it was really interesting that about 9 students out of the 50-something students mentioned making a current or upcoming transition from a military career to a career in sort of the civilian sector. And so I think there's going to be a lot of great opportunities for us to learn from these students because of the tremendous job that the military typically does training leaders, but also an opportunity for them to learn from us in terms of some of the leadership qualities and skills that may not translate directly from that military sector to the civilian sector. So I'm really excited about just the amount of variety that we have to learn from throughout this semester. I do want to note one thing. If you take a look at those discussion boards, you'll see that there is an opportunity to rate the posts. And so before there's any confusion about exactly what those ratings mean, I thought I would just fill you in on how I use those ratings and how you can use those ratings as well. First of all, I use those ratings to send myself a signal that I have already read this post. So after I read a post, I rate it, and that lets me know as new posts are added that I don't have to go back and read all the posts all over again. It also shoots you a signal that, okay, Ryan has looked at this post, and I can rest assured that I'm not being completely ignored here. I also use this post to filter into your participation grade. And so keep in mind that you do earn points throughout the semester based on your participation. And the way that this typically works, the sort of informal evaluation system that I use is, if your post is very short and it's just sharing an experience or an insight, you'll probably get 3 or 4 stars. But what I'm really looking for in these posts are in-depth interconnections between experiences, insight, and the course material. So if you can somehow synthesize what we're talking about in class, or what you've read, or what you've watched in one of the videos, if you can synthesize that learning material with your own personal experiences and expectations, that's the type of post that's going to get that 5-star feedback. A lot of times, if your post is a simple response to somebody else's post, like, hey, I really agreed with what you said, or I really liked what you said, you might get 3 or 4 stars or something like that. But again, in those cases, I'm just sending you feedback that, and myself feedback, that communication's been processed. But your goal should be to earn at least 1 5-star post for each of these different threads. As long as you do that, you'll max out your participation points, and you'll be in great shape moving forward in terms of the evaluation aspect of the course. I also encourage you to rate each other's posts. If somebody, I don't expect you to rate everybody's post. Don't feel obligated to rate everybody's posts. But if someone mentions something that really strikes a chord with you, and you want to recognize what they've said, rating their post is a great way to do so. It's a great way to let them know, and also a great way to let me know that they've made some sort of impactful statement. Okay, I want to keep this video short, so the last thing I'll just say is a reminder about upcoming deadlines. You have until the end of Sunday, May 31st, to finish working through modules 0 and 1. I will say module 1 has quite a few readings, probably more readings than what we'll see in the upcoming modules. And so if you're the type of person that takes a lot of time to read articles and whatever it may be and process them, make sure you allocate that time wisely. There's also more discussion board opportunities for module 1 than any of the other modules, just because I hope to encourage participation and get you in the mood for what we're going to be doing moving forward. So yeah, make sure you allocate time wisely and work through those modules 0 and 1 discussion boards. Make sure you get into the habit after you post of revisiting some of those discussion boards and reading what some of your colleagues and peers have posted, and really try to learn from them. In my experiences, the more you all take sort of ownership of the learning experience, the better the experience is. If you just rely on me to push videos and readings to you, I don't think the learning experience will be as rich. So I'm really hoping that we buy into and leverage these discussion boards. And then finally, upcoming assignment due June 8th, so you've got some time to work on this, is that crisis leadership plan. But the earlier you can start thinking about that, the easier the process will be. I'm currently working on developing a rubric for this so that you know exactly how you'll be evaluated. And as soon as I'm done with that rubric, I'll post it online and send out an announcement to you so you know how to access that rubric. All right, thank you so much. Again, I look forward to communicating with you all on these discussion boards and finishing off this semester strong.